She's a writer and theater performer based in London, and she's going to read a bit of the Belladonna Invitation, a luxurious Gothic drama where everything is performance and illusion, which has been called a master class in slow burn Gothic horror. It's both from April Yates. So Rose, we are so excited to have you join us today.
Hello, hi, how are you?
Doing
Good.
very well. Love your accent.
Yes.
I love yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. I forget I have one half the time.
Yeah, and mine comes out sometimes more than others depending on who I'm around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So, Rose, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, hi. I am a writer and an artist. I work across theatre, writing, performance. I do a bit of dance. I'm based in London, so it's a lovely sort of dark autumnal evening for me right now.
Okay.
I think
Oh,
you're having a
nice.
it's different for you now, right? It's not quite, you're not quite there yet, but it's coming, it's coming.
Yes, 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 yes.
We
Um,
hope, fingers
Yes.
crossed.
I'm actually I'm in Hackney in East London, and I just heard the end of the trivia quiz about Poe. Something that I found that shocked me when I first learned about it. Just down the road from me, if you go like some sort of Hackney, if you cycle about 10 minutes on the bike that way, you get to the site of the old manor school where Poe went as a young boy.
Very
Cool.
cool. Okay.
And it really shocked me when I first saw that plaque, because he's such an American voice to me that the thought of
Yes.
him being in London at all, never
Yes.
mind Stoke Newington, it was
Mhm.
incredible. And I sort of had to take a moment to think, well, Clissold Park is here. He was a young boy then, so it was different, of course, but
Mhm.
Clissold Park have got a deer sanctuary in it. And I haven't checked
Okay.
whether that was there in Poe's day. I assume it wasn't, but if I don't check, I can always imagine a young Poe going to look at those deer, maybe
Yeah.
like
Oh my gosh, yes.
That'd be
after
very
school or something. And it was not here long. I can't imagine how good those times were for him, but
Yeah.
Poe in London is an interesting idea. I feel like there's a whole story there if there isn't one
Oh,
already.
I
You have a
agree.
connection that even there, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
he's
That-
everywhere.
Yes, he definitely is. So you are going to be sharing with us an excerpt from the Belladonna Invitation. So would you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I'd love to. So this is my new novel, which is out. It's out now from Ghost Orchid Press. I'm going
Okay.
to show you this cover because I love it. Zoom in there.
Beautiful.
So it's a sort of decadent Gothic novel set in fin de siècle Paris, about a sort of dangerous decadent Paris, which is ruled over by an enigmatic woman known only as the Belladonna, who is a sort of
Okay.
socialite, a soprano, who people she sort of runs the demi-monde society essentially, and we sort of so I wanted to read a short extract from it, and I should add that this is going to be one of the books in the raffles that you're drawing. So at the end of this time,
Yes.
we'll be drawing a name for someone to get a copy.
Yes, and that's
Like,
exciting. Yes.
So I'm really delighted to be part of this project, and I'm really grateful to Love Letters to Poe for inviting me to read a bit of this, and to you at 6 Degrees for hosting me. And it's really
Yes. Yeah, we're so excited to meet you.
Yes.
Too bad we're not in England.
Yeah, if it's cooler over there, I'd rather be there. But you
Yeah.
know, also Jim on our chat says that Poe wrote "Man in the Crowd" about London.
Yes,
so
that is very true.
he was
Yes.
definitely touched upon it when he was in London. So
Yeah.
it's a very interesting read.
Yeah, it's a great story.
So yeah, Rose, we're happy you could join us.
Yes.
Because you're what, 6 hours ahead?
It's 5 or 6. I
Okay.
had a sort of 30-second panic a few hours ago when I thought I was on an hour later than this. I
Okay.
was sort of
So
like, oh, so I'll go out then. No, I won't.
Yeah, so 5 hours ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's complicated because we're in British summertime now. So I was suddenly like, did I factor that in or not?
Well, it's
Okay.
fine. You're here. You're on time.
Yes, you're
You
perfect.
know, you're
so.
better than I was yesterday. I actually was going to be an hour late because I was going by the Eastern time zone, and I'm
That's
like, oh, I don't
true.
live in Eastern anymore. I've been down here for 18 years, but I still didn't figure it out.
Oh yeah. So, well,
Good.
Rose, whenever you're ready, we cannot wait to hear this.
Yeah.
So,
Hand it over to you.
Okay.
yes,
And good luck.
yes.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you.
Can't wait.
Thank you. Okay, so as I mentioned, we are in a dark and decadent Paris. I'm going to read to you a moment. This is where someone attends the Belladonna's highly exclusive salon, her poison salon, for the first
Okay.
time.
All right.
It's always a good salon.
Yes.
The bowl of berries in the center of the table has its own gravity, pulling everyone in, distorting all conversation. Eventually, she chooses her moment and leans forward to pick up a berry. She raises it high as if inspecting it, holding it delicately between thumb and forefinger. A few rules, she says. I know some of you may know them. I repeat them anyway. She looks around the group. Remember to summon the doctor if you think it is necessary. And you must only take one, never more. Follow the second rule, and you shouldn't need the first. Permission granted. You don't have to eat the berry, remember? But it would probably benefit to know. And that's what all this is about, isn't it? Knowing. She closes her eyes and tips her head back. The tasteless bead comes further into her mouth and she crunches it between her backmost molars, which is suddenly the driest place in her body. And her face closes around her mouth, pulling at her cheeks, her eyes inwards. Her face is turning in on itself. Her hair must surely be in her mouth, then. How come it isn't? Where is it? A great pounding sets in behind her eyes, arriving like an unwelcome guest, and it sits there in the forehead, pushing out from behind her eyes, knocking at her skull. She manages to say something, but too late. The bloating pounding in her head has become all-encompassing, a discomfort too big for her mere skull. This delicate, useless skull, too thin for a bulging pain like this. It must come out. The ache must come out and be free to rush around the room. A heavy juddering now through her throat, and an astringent thickness fills her senses, becomes a foul pillow pressed over her face, and her mouth is smeared with liquid she tries to wipe away. But her mouth is strange. Her numb lips are like touching a distant piece of cold meat, and the feel and scent of the vomit is only faintly registered, a mere loose fact with no thought attached. She presses herself into the back of her chair and tries to see the room again, tries to look past the burning that now spreads through her chest up into her throat. There is a heavy sound, a thump. Someone a few miles away is landing on the floor. They have fallen from their chair and are curled up there. And a flock of birds, too dark to be doves, swallows, spin upwards and lose themselves in the chandelier, and its crystals have begun to melt and are dripping down into the bowl. And the splashes of liquid glass, when they land, are black, and the berries are everywhere, and nausea rises again, and a fresh convulsion shakes her. This is my body failing. This is what it's like. And the dark shape beyond her blurred vision somehow combines into a figure, elegant in soft black, beside her, and there's a comforting hand on her arm, the smooth, cool silk of it on her burning skin like ointment. She looks up and through the pain in her head into the shifting outline before her, the vision of a black dress becoming two, then three, then one of itself. Her sight blurs as her tears heat up her eyes, the taste rolling through her in waves, and she focuses as much as she can on the woman kneeling by her side. Look at me, says the blurring image of the belladonna over the quiet groans in the room. She focuses her attention on the sharp neckline of the gown, the exquisite belladonna fabric, a vivid slash against her pale skin. And here's the thing, F is dying. She knows this. Her heart is going to beat itself open. This whole event is a drawn-out convulsion, a great desperate rattle. Her body is currently, unquestionably, dying, but even so, it won't somehow, after all this, be dead. And her body knows this. And here's the thing, In spite of the blur and the heat and the shaking, curtains sweep aside to a heightening of perception, and details stand out and declare themselves to her parched senses, and she can make out each individual thread of silk in the dress, the light on each dark pearl threaded across the gown, and for a moment the world is still, and she and the belladonna are at the absolute centre. And then each pearl is a berry, a knot of blackness she cannot untie, and bubbling acid once more rises up from her stomach to press against her breastbone, and her body is burning with pressure that makes breathing impossible, and the shadows lean in closer, and, on top of everything, here is a sudden calm pressure on her head, the belladonna's hand gently, lovingly stroking her hair, and to this she submits. The pain is too much, the gentleness is too much, and she opens herself to the beauty of this. She is dying, and the belladonna is the bringer of the darkness, and she rises, and her long black dress is endless, and she dives into it and is gone from there.
Woo-hoo!
That was awesome.
Very cool.
Oh,
Yes, I love how you have it called belladonna, because the vision of belladonna is one of the things that makes it so kind of a looking at a picture and not really seeing the depth of what you're looking at, because the plant has the flowers, has the everything,
yeah.
but you don't understand that it also has death attached to it. It can
Right.
actually be like a cosmetic, because they used to use it for, cosmetics, or they used to use it for healing, but it's one of those that it can be deadly. So,
Yeah.
and I think that was very great. When I was listening to you reading it, I just could picture it, because you had the beauty, but you also had the underlying death in there. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Very nicely done.
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. It's really an honor to be have such wonderful listeners as yourselves. Thank you. I'm going to wave the cover once more, because I do enjoy it. This big
Oh,
berry
Yes.
berry.
Oh yeah. And I
Yes.
love the cover. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful, because it is the perfect example of what I was just saying.
Yes,
That a lot of
yes.
people don't understand what the actual belladonna looks like, because it has a mixture of flowers and leaves and seeds, and
Yeah. And some of the most poisonous plants and flowers are the most beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah. We could not have timed that better.
I know. We've been around each
Oh,
other.
the most beautiful. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Too late.
Yeah, we're all the wrong. Okay, well, Holly said wow, and then Jim says his eyes are bulging.
Oh, okay.
So he
Okay.
really enjoyed that.
Yes.
Oh,
And
thank
so we are now ready, I think, to raffle off a copy of a digital copy of her book.
Yes, let me double check that we still have the
Okay.
same numbers, and I've also, just so everyone knows, that if you've already won once, we've taken you out of the raffle,
Right.
just so we can give everybody a chance for different
Absolutely. Yes.
plans. So here we go. This raffle is for her wonderful book,
The Belladonna Invitation.
Exactly. And go spin. Dun, 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 dun. Bam. Let's see what we got coming through. One, two. Number 4. Our winner is number 4, and number 4 on our backer report list is Jessica.
All right.
Just says Jessica.
Jessica. Okay. We'll get
Yeah,
her
Sarah
name.
will have the name and everything, but Jessica, if you're online with us, great.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. If not, this is going to be a surprise for you. So Jessica, you won. So that's great. There we go.
And anybody else have a comment?
Jim says Angel's Trumpet. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one that
absolutely.
definitely.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. But and the name. I think it's been a misnomer. Many people in the old times, when they were naming the flora and the fauna, they would give it names based on its beauty, but then they would, kind of forget that, it's not that beautiful because it'll kill you.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. It's like the mushrooms, it's like, okay.
No. So
I suppose the people who eat it aren't around to name it, I guess.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. That's a very good point.
Yeah. Well,
so Rose, do you have any other things you want to add about yourself or any of the, work you have coming up?
yes. Anything else you would like to share with us?
Yeah.
Gosh, I think I am up to my time, but I do want to thank you again for having me. I do
Yeah,
have a
thank
couple of
you.
other bits of short fiction sort of out in the next year. One with a wonderful anthology from Fly on the Wall Press, who are based in Manchester over here. It was
Okay.
called Modern Gothic. So that's deliberately
Nice. Okay.
looking at what that might mean, I suppose. So I have
Mhm.
a story in that, and my first full collection of short fiction is out near the end of next year, sort of this time next year. So
Oh, great. Great.
there's a few things, but
Yeah, and I'm
Great.
assuming if anybody wants to find your stuff, they can find you on social media or,
yes,
just check
I am
you
on.
out.
Yes, I'm on social media, and I'm on my website is just rosebiggin.uk, so you can
Okay.
email me through that or contact me through that. I'm still on Twitter at the moment,
Okay.
until it when it if it goes, I will be free, but I'm there for now. And
Yes.
the Belladonna invitation is in paperback form with this lovely soft cover, is out
Okay.
everywhere. You can get one of those.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We loved having you read an excerpt from it, and
Yes.
congratulations, Jessica, on
Yes.
winning a copy.
Yes, and we hope you enjoy it as much as we've enjoyed having Rose with us.
Yes.
Thank you so
thank you,
much. Have a
Rose.
wonderful rest of your marathon.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye. Have a
All
good
right.
day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.